FM 94, The Dark. It is that time again. It's time to get to know a band we play here on The Dark. And tonight we're going to be talking with a band that's out of Atlanta, Georgia. They're called Bridge to Grace. On the phone right now, I'm talking with the founding member. I believe he's the founding member, that being Alex Cabrera. And Alex, thanks so much for joining me. Was I right that you're a founding member of Bridge to Grace?
Yeah, I am. And thanks for having me, man. Good to be here.
Perfect. Alex, let's talk about the band Bridge to Grace, first of all, and let's get the history of it. How did this band all come about?
The band was formed in 2012 when me and Christian, our bass player, we went into the studio to record a 5-song EP. And our singer actually quit the day before we went into the studio, so it was kind of like a rough spot for us. But we did all the music, and our producer was like, don't worry, I got the guy for you to sing on these songs. And he called up David, our singer, and David was in the band with Justin at the time, our drummer, so we kind of just stole them, and we formed, and it's how it goes.
That's all she wrote. And you guys are out of Atlanta, Georgia, correct?
Yes, sir, Atlanta, Georgia.
And you know what? I tell you what, it's crazy, but over the last maybe 6 months or so, a lot of active rock bands have been coming out of Atlanta, Georgia. Why is that?
I have no idea, because right now Atlanta's not doing too hot with rock music.
Really?
There's no active rock station. They just closed down one of the biggest venues that we played all the time called the Masquerade, so it's getting rough out there right now.
Crazy. You know, I've had a chance to talk to a lot of different bands over the last couple of years, and the state of rock, obviously. And, you know, Gene Simmons back in the day said rock is dead. I think it was kind of taken in a little different context than what he really meant. But I guess you mentioned, obviously, the Atlanta scene and the radio station there no longer having an active rock format. Do you see that it's been a little bit tougher nowadays? And you're a pretty young guy. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I'm pretty young.
You're pretty young, I guess what's your take on the whole rock thing right now, and for that matter, even rock on radio?
I definitely think it's tougher nowadays, but I definitely think when a great show is put together, the fans always come out, and I never think rock will ever be dead, because it's real. You know, it's real people playing real instruments on stage, and that's what people love. People love rock stars, you know. So I don't ever see rock dying. I do see it slowing down now at this point in time, you know, with electronic music going crazy, but I don't know. I see that kind of slowing down.
I would completely agree with you, and I think the realness in it is where I think is the where it's at. It's almost kind of like the vinyl is kind of coming back in some degree too, because they're tired of everything being so perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing. You know, Alex, let's talk about the band a little bit more, Bridge to Grace, and how did the name all come about? How did the name Bridge to Grace come about, and is there a story behind this at all?
The name's actually kind of funny, because when we first came up with it, it didn't really mean anything to us. It kind of just stuck around because we really liked the name, but once the band was finally formed and everything, it made perfect sense to us, because we bridged together two different types of sound between me and Christian, and then us stealing David and Justin. And we bridged together the sound we have today, so it works perfect for us.
Very cool. We're talking with Alex Cabrera. He's the guitarist, founding member of the band Bridge to Grace, a band out of Atlanta, Georgia. I want to dig right into this right away, the album Origins, which actually is coming out this Friday. And this has been a long time waiting for you guys to finally get that first album out, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, dude. We've been waiting to release these songs for a long time.
Let's talk about the process and that. And I've listened to this album from song number 1 to song number 17. You already got a fan right here up Minnesota. So, and actually, before I even heard this album, I've heard some of the other stuff you've actually put out, like The Fold, and then earlier this year you had Bitch put out too. So we've heard that here on the airwaves. I'm really digging the new single Everything right now. But before we get into that, let's talk about this album and how much hard work it took to put this thing out.
Yeah, the album, it's been, we started writing it, I'd say, in 2012 when we formed, so it's been a good 3 years of writing, and some of the songs, the original 5 that me and Christian went in to record are on the album, and also songs that we finished, not even a couple months ago are on the album. So we've got it stockpiled of 3 years of, starting the band, and we have, our sound just put together perfectly in these 17 songs.
And the cool thing about it is that when you hear 17 songs, you almost think, boy, that's a box set, 2 years of 2 different CDs put together. No, this is one CD, 3 years of you guys putting stuff together. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yep. I'm so happy it's finally here, like the release date this Friday.
Talk about, I guess, how did you guys come up with some of the music, inspirations? Where did this all come from?
It all depends on how, like, a song starts. We could be on the road and somebody's in the back with the guitar just feeling out a riff or something, or whenever we're home, I have a studio in my house, so I do some of our instrumentations there, or David comes over with the melody idea. It all just branches out, but it just all depends on, like, in the moment, what we're wanting to write and stuff.
This song currently you have on Radio Everything, I think, I believe it's going to blow up. I know you've had, I think The Fold, if I'm not mistaken, you did hit the top 50 on that in active radio. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, The Fold went top 50.
Right, exactly. I think this is the chance to finally get a song that might hit the top 30 here. And obviously, it's not easy. It's not easy by any means.
No, it's not.
But this song, I think, has the legs to do that and get there. What's the meaning behind this song, Everything?
The meaning behind this song is kind of complex in a way, because when we wrote this song, we all had different kind of versions of what we were writing about, but at the same time, we had the same meaning. So the song, in a way, it basically is a power struggle with an opposing forces in, like, it could be a person or a boss at work or something like that, but we went with, like, the power struggle with addiction and how it can tear people apart and how it tears somebody apart inside and how they're fighting themselves, basically, because they know it's not right and it's killing them, but they can't stop.
Wow, that's huge. That is very huge.
Yeah, we tried to go deep with it.
And the great thing about this album is it's just not all one sound either. And a lot of times bands, they have that certain sound and you just hear it all the way through. You can tell that there is, as you mentioned, kind of the name Bridge to Grace coming together with 2 different kind of genres of sound. You can hear that throughout the album.
Yeah, we try to be very versatile, because the last thing we want is, like, one of our biggest fears, I think, was, like, making 2 songs that would sound exactly the same, or a whole album that's just the same song over and over. So we tried definitely to just go out there and throw some new ideas around for each song, and with the different influences between me and Christian and then David and Justin, like, David's favorite singers are, like, LeJean from Seven Dust and Daniel Johns from Silverchair. So we're all over the board with our influences and what we love to write.
Well, let's dig into that. We're talking to Alex Cabrera. He's the founding member and guitarist of the band Bridge to Grace. Let's get some of your background here, maybe. Music collection. What did you kind of grow up with as a kid? And obviously you're not that old, so it hasn't been that long ago that you were probably listening to music. But what are some of the things that you listened to that kind of influenced you to help write this album?
Growing up, I definitely say I listened to a lot of hair metal because of my dad. My dad definitely got me into a ton of bands like Guns N' Roses, AC/DC. But then when I started playing guitar, I got into, like, a lot of the 90s stuff with, like, Soundgarden, and I played a lot of Green Day, too, and 3 Days Grace. So.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, did you get a chance to actually go out on tour 3 Days Grace one time?
We didn't get to go on tour with them, but we played a great show in Atlanta with them.
Okay.
At the Masquerade.
So
it was awesome.
So you've had an opportunity to actually see a childhood idol of yours then, huh?
Oh, yeah. Just to share a stage with them, there's nothing more, like, special than that.
What was that?
It was a dream come true right there.
What was that like for you? Actually, was it a kind of a pinch me moment, or what was it like?
Yeah, I'd say so, because I remember when I first started playing guitar in my room, I went on my computer, I went on to, like, ultimateguitartabs.com, and I learned the entire 1X album in a night. I learned the entire thing. So watching them play the songs live and just to be able to stand on the same stage as an idol like that is just incredible. It's an amazing feeling.
That is really cool. Hey, what's in your music collection right now that might shock me? Is there anything that might...
Right now?
Yeah, what's in there that right now I go, whoa, Alex is listening to this?
Good question. I'm listening to a lot of Soundgarden's King Animal album right now.
Okay. And
his solo album, Euphoria Morning.
Yep. Chris Cornell, and obviously he's got a new song out too now, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I like that song a lot. Let's see, what would shock you on my playlist? Let me check.
Yeah, you better check there. You got any like Bach, Beethoven, maybe a little bit of let's see, a little Lady Gaga. How about Prince? Everybody says Prince because we're from Minnesota, you know.
Prince, yeah.
Yeah, but actually it's amazing talking to a lot of artists out there. A lot of artists have been influenced by Prince, and just because of the genre that he is, and for that matter, just the uniqueness that he is.
Yeah, I would definitely say an album that might shock you. I'm listening to Daniel John's top album that he just his solo album he just came out with.
Okay, that's cool.
And it's completely different from Silverchair. It's kind of like top 40 like pop here in America. So
nice,
it's out there.
Nice. Hey, let's talk about current active rock bands. Which current active rock bands right now are you kind of digging? Are you really liking right now?
Current active rock bands. I am loving Bringing the Horizons new stuff.
Very cool.
I am loving that band, and Pretty Reckless I've been getting into a lot too now. And they just like stopped touring, so I'm waiting for that next album to come out, see how that goes.
Very cool. Hey, if you had to put together your ultimate 3-band bill, so it's Bridge of Grace along with 2 other bands, who would you love to play with?
It's actually funny because our dream tour is actually like about to happen.
Really?
We're not on it, but
okay.
It's Seven Dust, Breaking Benjamin, and Shinedown.
Ah, yes. And in fact, they are coming to Minnesota here. Yes.
That's going to be a great show. I wish I could see that.
Well, maybe they should make it a 4-band bill instead of a 3 and add Bridge to Grace, right?
They should. We should try and give them a call and set that up.
You know, that's a good question, too, that I always like to ask. Obviously, the bands that I talk to, some have been around for years, some of them are new. Do you get a chance to talk with fellow band members, you know, in your genre? And have there been other guys out there that have kind of influenced it and helped you along here?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of good bands that we've gotten to meet along the way and that have given us great advice for, you know, being such a young band. And it's really helped a lot, and we're very fortunate for all the encounters we've had.
Very cool. And, you know, obviously you're being a guitar player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there somebody that you've kind of looked up to over the years in that sector?
I would definitely say Soundgarden, Chris Cornell.
Okay.
That as a guitarist, and like I said, I grew up on a lot of 80s rock too, so I listened to a lot of Slash, and Randy Rhoads is actually my main influence for a long time.
Very cool.
Still is.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking to Alex Cabrera. He's with the band Bridge to Grace. They have a new album coming out this Friday, which they're excited about that, called The Origins. We'll get to that and how you can get a hold of a copy here in just a few minutes. Here's a question I'll make you think, and I ask this question to everybody that I've always interviewed. And obviously, you guys have a young library of music, so this might be a little more tricky. But here's the question, what artist would you like to cover one of your songs?
Oh, man. I would say probably Seven Dust. I would love to see that.
Cool. And
I definitely think David has a similar voice to him, and he's a big influence to him, so John singing one of our songs would be crazy.
You know, and it's crazy that Seven Dust, and I'm thinking Clint Lowry and that too, a big supporter of new music, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
What song would you want him to sing?
Maybe Take It All. It's the opening track on the album.
Okay.
Because we threw in some like Morgan Rose screams there at the beginning of the chorus, and LeJohn's flow on it I think would be crazy.
That would be cool. Well, maybe we have to make that happen sometime.
Like I said, we got to give them a call. We could get them to do the song, and then we could hop on their tour.
Exactly. Let's make this happen, right? Speaking of touring, how much tour? You guys are currently on a tour right now. Am I correct on that?
Yep. Yes, we are. We're in Springfield, Illinois today.
Okay. Who are you hanging out with right now? Are you guys just on a solo thing, or are you out with somebody else?
Yeah, right now we're doing a little headline run before we go out with Full Devil Jacket.
Nice.
And then we're booked all the way out to the rest of the year, so we're staying out long.
How about touring in Minnesota? Ever been up here before? Ever done anything up here?
Yes, we've played Rockford before.
Oh, okay.
But I think that was the only time we've been there. We played with Otherwise. Real cool guys.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Hey, you heard your music on the radio, I'm assuming?
No, not yet.
You've never heard your song on the radio?
Nope.
Well, then I can't even ask you this question. What does it mean to hear your music on the radio? So what do you think it's going to mean to you when you actually hear your songs played on the radio?
Well, we've heard it in, like, being in the station before and they played it, but we've never really heard it, like, in the car driving, like, just ready for it.
Right.
I think I did once when The Fold was out, and when it was on Octane. It was the only time I ever really heard it. And it was definitely a crazy feeling. I started, like, flying in my car, like, going 100 miles an hour because I was so excited. But
you didn't get pulled over, did you?
No, I didn't. I settled down quickly.
You probably looked at it and go, is that us?
Yeah, definitely.
That's crazy. Hey, Alex, I know you got plans yet coming up here tonight to get to the show, so we'll let you go. But let's find out more about this album, Origins. Obviously, it comes out on Friday. How do people get a hold of it?
You can, it's going to be on iTunes. It's already on iTunes for pre-order right now. It'll be on Amazon. I'm pretty sure Spotify's picking it up. And you can always go to our website, bridgetogracemusic.com, and we're sending out signed copies and stuff like that now. And you can check out our Twitter and Instagram, too. I think all the accounts we have store links and stuff.
Cool. That was my next question. How do people find out more information about Bridge to Grace? But obviously, it's probably all the social media outlets and the website and all that,
yeah,
right?
We're everywhere.
Yeah.
Search Bridge to Grace.
Yeah, I've got you liked on my Facebook page, and I did see a bunch of those autographed copies that you had, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a lot of fun.
In fact, the cool thing, too, for our listeners here is that when we're done with this interview, your management was gracious enough to send us out some copies. We're going to give some away here on the air tonight. Does that sound great?
Awesome. That's awesome, dude.
So hopefully we get a few more brand new Bridge to Grace fans up here in the Minnesota area.
Yeah, hopefully, and then we'll come play a show.
Absolutely. Hey, we're going to play your new song, Everything, right now. I appreciate the interview again, Alex, and I wish you the best of luck with this album and also the rest of the tour coming up, too.
Thank you so much, man. Thanks for having me on air.
Thanks very much for joining me. Once again, that is Alex Cabrera, and he is from Bridge to Grace. You want to hear that new song right now, Everything? You got it. It's on The Dark. It's on FM 94.